This DVD provides 3 examples of how service providers on Anglesey and Conwy have realised that taking a collaborative approach and really involving citizens as partners in the decision-making process can be very productive. The examples illustrate how people and communities want to be heard and be involved, and how their contribution can create opportunities for collective resolution. In the first piece, we hear from Ian Williams, leader of Anglesey Council, and some young people who tell us how they felt about meeting him. They were involved in developing the consultation of Anglesey Council's budgets for 2016-17. The Llais Ni project aims to give young people on Anglesey between the ages of 11 and 25 a chance to voice their opinion and make real difference to their communities.
Mae rhaid i'r cyngor os o'r cyllideb bob blwyddyn. Ac oherwydd maint y toriadau, yn amlwg mae rhaid i ni gwtogi ar wneud pethau. Wedyn, be da ni'n neud fel arfer fydda ni'n allan a gofyn barn y cyhoedd ynglyn â be maen nhw'n feddwl am yn cynigio ni. Be dyna ni ddim wedi wneud yn gorffennol oedd mynd i siarad efo'r ieuenctid. Ac wedyn, be nathon ni flwyddyn dwytha efo cymorth gan Llais Ni, oedd mynd i siarad efo cynghora ysgol a chweched dosbarth yn yr ysgolion uwchradd.
Wel, am y tro cyntaf erioed, nath pobl ifanc cael rhan ohono fo. So yna lot o bobl ifanc o 11 hyd at 25 oed yn cael bod yr rhan ohono fo. So hynna, big first.
I think the good thing as well is like with Llais Ni, everyone comes from completely different backgrounds.
Yeah.
So everyone could cover at least one of the subjects which were brought up on the night.
Yeah.
So they did have a variety of everyone's opinions on that, which was good.
A da ni'n cael wahanol safbwynt, dweud y gwir. Ac hefyd, dwi'n meddwl bod ella'r dull o mynd allan i gael sesiwn galw i mewn, bod pobl di laru efo, achos weithiau, ond na neb yn troi fyny. Ond mae rhain yn gynulleidfa newydd, a fel o'n i'n deud, yn edrach ar bethau wahanol i amwn i rywun sydd di laru efo'r cyngor eisiau dwad i sesiwn galw i mewn dim ond illa i ddeud, wel, da chi'n gwneud hyn yn anghywir neu da chi'n gwneud llall yn anghywir. Wedyn beth da ni'n gael oedd, da ni'n cael safbwynt ffres ac syniadau weithiau, so neb roed wedi meddwl amdanyn nhw.
Nath nhw siarad efo bobl ifanc yn lle just meddwl, na, some point. Nath nhw actually mynd allan a meddwl, hold on, illa fe rhaid i ni siarad efo bobl ifanc, achos ar ddiwedd dydd nhw ydi dyfodol yr ynys, so rhaid nhw wneud hynna.
At the end of the day, Anglesey is full of young people and we are the future of Anglesey. And we were fair play to him, we were brought in, but recommendation is next time that we are brought in from the beginning. So that it covers their back as well, that they've got the young people's opinion and interaction and even help with the report at the end.
Dwi'n meddwl bod cymryd rhan yn y broses yn bwysig. Illa bod rhai wedi siomi pan oeddwn ni'n crynhoi ar ddiwedd sesiwn ac yn dweud, da chi wedi cytuno ella efo dydwch 90% ond cynigio ni, ond da chi reit frwd yn erbyn pethau eraill. Ond oherwydd na dim ond hyn a hyn o arian sydd gan y cyngor, mae rhaid i ni wneud y toriad yna sydd yn un amoblogaeth. Ond efallai bod angen i ni ddysgu gwers hefyd, ac pan mae'r cyllideb wedi mynd trwad i gyfathrebu lle, gwrandwch, da ni wedi gwneud hyn a hyn yn unol a'ch dyheadau chi, da ni ddim wedi gallu gwneud hyn. Y bwriad rwan ydy i sefydlu cyngor ieuenctid. Mae nifer o gynghorau yng Nghymru efo'n. Mae gynnon ni Llais Ni, ond da ni eisiau mynd â hwnna gam ymhellach a cael cyngor ieuenctid. A wedyn, dwi'n meddwl yn fanna ella sy'n ni'n cael, dwi'n yn gwybod, un cyfarfod mewn chwarter efo'r cyngor ieuenctid a'r pynciau mawr mae'r cyngor ymwneud efo nhw.
Dwi'n meddwl tro nesaf, bod yna lot o lleisiau wedi cael ei glywed tro yma, ella bod yna fwy o bobl, ella yn ysgol ni, oedd wedi cael ei ddewis lle, oedden nhw gyd dod o'r un cefndir rhan fwyaf yn chweched neu blwyddyn 10, lla gyd chweched y blwyddyn 10 mewn ffordd wedi cael ei pigo. Gyd yn neud yr un pyncia, so oedd pawb yr un fath, pawb o'r un barn. So alla bod hynna bach o favouritism, alla bod ni'n cael fwy o, bod y cyngor allan cael dewis ac yn cael rhaid o'i pawb yn lle jyst un ysgol efo dosbarth, alla 10 o'n ni o'na, dwi'n meddwl. Dwi'n meddwl hynna'n 10.
Be nathon ni yn Ysgol Borth oedd dim ond cael grŵp, ag yn amlwch, oedd grŵp bychan a 6 dosbarth o gwmpas bwr. Ac efallai na ffordd na sy'n ni'n mynd tro nesa ydy cael criw llai ac dwi'n meddwl bod o'n haws na cyfathrebu efo cynulleidfa enfawr lle, achos mae gennych chi rei yn laru, mae gennych chi rei yn mynd i ffwrdd i siarad efo'i gilydd, maen nhw'n torri ar draws.
The council leader came into our school and consulted with a lot of young people, but not everyone could get their opinions like heard because there'd be like loads of shouting and you can't really get around to everyone.
So I think like something like an interactive voting system would be good. It's like more people can voice their opinions at once and it's easier and you get your results straight away.
Dwi'n meddwl bydda mewn syniad i rywun fel yr Ymddiriedolaeth Iechyd, Rheddlu, ambulance, i cael gweld safbwynt, achos mae'r bobl ifanc yn amlwg yn ddefnyddwyr o gwasanaethau mae i gyd, neu mae rhieni nhw, a maen nhw trwy rhieni yn cael profiad rywsyd o wasanaeth gan y sector cyhoeddus. Felly mi dylia bod y sector cyhoeddus ni gyfanrwydd, dwi'n meddwl, yn gofyn am farn yn ei ieuenctid ni, yn bendant.
In the second piece, we hear from Martin Cool. He is now Conwy Housing Solutions Manager, and Billy, who is chair of the BBL Residents Association. They work together to develop a contract between the residents of a permanent traveller site and the organisations involved in managing the site. They tell us how they felt about their involvement and working together to agree a resolution. You will see again how it was possible to treat the residents as partners and work in a genuinely collaborative way.
The main bulk of the work that I've been leading on has been the development of the pitch agreement and the management agreement. So we were really keen to work on a project with a traditionally excluded community because it adds to our length and breadth of work experience and skill sets within the organisation. So we were invited to work with the travellers, went to a few initial meetings to build rapport, develop relationships, and it's really developed from there.
At the beginning, we were wondering if they were just going to try and tell us what it's got to be like, and we were frightened that if we pull on this site, that it wouldn't suit us because we didn't want it to be like a prison. We realised there's rules and regulations everywhere in life, isn't it? But we didn't want it to be like a prison, and we were really, really frightened about that. We were frightened it would change our way of life. I think they knew everything about us at the beginning. I think they'd been given a little bit of the wrong information. I think, and plus they must have made their own assumptions about us. And then when I think they've realised that they can work with us. All of us together, we thought it would be a good idea having a residents association. They said it was a good idea. You know what I mean? They were supportive of it, yeah.
Negotiation with the residents through the Residents Association has been really what I think is the key success to what we've hopefully been able to deliver so far. And all negotiation is an open, frank, honest conversation, factoring in some of the limitations that we have as an organisation and trying to manage expectations of the residents.
I learned how to work with them, yeah. It took a bit, and we realised that some of it was going to work and some of it wasn't. So we sat down with Cartravie and we negotiated with them and come up with different ideas. To be fair, they did listen though, and they did change pretty quick.
The discussions probably took place over several months, often a flurry of activity, and then a bit of a break for a couple of weeks, and then another flurry of activity. But come the end of the 2-3 months that we were working on it, I think myself on behalf of Cartravie Conwy, who were going to manage the site, and Billy on behalf of the Residents Association, I think we got to a document that we're all really comfortable with. Some of the challenges along the way, sometimes just with regards to the logistics of trying to manage the conversations. I'm not the easiest fella to get hold of at the best of times in work, lots of meetings, lots of staff management issues, and Billy and some of the other residents were often away for long periods of time, their own work and family commitments. So trying to fit in the volume of discussion and the amount of time that we wanted to dedicate to those discussions to make them really meaningful was a challenge. I think when you're a housing professional, whether it be a housing manager or a housing officer, your core hours are traditionally 9 to 5, and the engagement techniques that you use within community development and working with hard to reach communities should quite rightly take you sometimes out of those core hours. So we'd always arrange, myself and Billy, that at least once a week we'd catch up between 7 and 9 o'clock of an evening. Might just be for 5 minutes. On a couple of occasions it was for a couple of hours, but it was really, really important for us both to make the time to commit to that process so that we really got the opportunity to think things through together. I think my key message for any other service providers looking to work with the Gypsy Traveller community would be go into it with an open mind. Leave any preconceived notions that you may have about the community to one side. Treat them with the respect and they'll treat you with respect. And try and enjoy the process. It can be stressful at times for us and for the residents that we worked with, for Bangor Back Lane Residents Association. Things have been heated, but as long as everyone has their eyes on the main prize, which was developing a management agreement, developing a pitch agreement.
The best things what we've negotiated, I would say, was the thing about the commercial vehicles. I think the things about where, the amount of time that we're allowed to go away. I think the negotiations about that has been very, very good, because I think they understand that now a lot more. I think they understand more of the facilities what we needed. We'll be able to live on here a lot better and still have our culture. We'll still be able to do things what we want to do, and I think they understand that as long as we do it sensibly, that we can still live our lives as gypsy people. I still like camping up and down. I think it's great. It's the best life in the world.
So any relationship takes time to develop. Building rapport and understanding and trust has been hard, and will continue to be quite hard, but hopefully the Residents Association are committed to that relationship. Catreffi Conwy and the Conwy Housing Solutions team are committed to that relationship, and hopefully that will go from strength to strength.
In this third piece, we hear from Greg George, who is head of the diversity unit at North Wales Police, and Fatima Gresiak, who is an economic migrant worker and works for NWREN, the North Wales Regional Equality Network. As a citizen, Fatima has been voluntarily involved in the Independent Advisory Group, together with a diverse group of people from a wide range of communities. She tells us about the practical aspects of this model of citizen engagement, and how she felt that as a member of the community currently affected by various social tensions, this mechanism of citizen control over the work of public institutions can result in more harmony and trust. Greg George talks about the IAG, Independent Advisory Group, a North Wales Police-led initiative to give communities a critical voice involving policing issues.
My name's Greg George and I'm Head of Diversity for North Wales Police. My main job is to look at the promotion of equality both in the organisation and externally within the community. My main role is to obviously ensure that North Wales Police engages with key community groups to ensure that we can promote equality and diversity. The Force Independent Advisory Group was set up 10 years ago, and its main aim is to act as a critical friend to the police on equality and diversity issues.
It's a group of people, 8-10 people, who are from diverse background, from different communities, different religions, ethnic background, and we meet on a regular basis to look into policies or the real policy case studies, where we give our opinion and advice from the equality perspective. How this will affect people on the ground, especially people who have protected characteristics.
The IAG is a good opportunity for people to find out about what North Wales Police are doing. Individuals will get a chance to look at policy, procedure, practice within North Wales Police, but they will also be involved in critical incidents. And the main difference is they could be called out at a 24/7 basis on critical and major incidents.
Recently we were watching footage of the body-worn camera attached to the police uniform in a stop and search situation. We had to decide whether the officers' actions were appropriate, where we analyze camera footage even frame by frame. We could experience real emotions and to be in the same situation. It's nearly like walking in various shoes. But in the same time we had to examine whether they follow strict procedures. So we analyze serious policing through the human perspective, and it helps us to understand how the police work. Then we pass this information to our communities, to our friends, family, churches, mosques. Of course we cannot say everything because a lot of information is classified. This is why this panel is different from others.
As the police force, it's really important that we show that and evidence that we're engaging in different ways. We have a number of community groups already established in North Wales Police to engage with minority communities.
For me and for my community, language is very important. It's really difficult to be understood sometimes. So I think I look a bit more at the way how the police officers spoke to people, the tone of voice, and did they use simple enough language, for example. All our voices were written down and passed to us to analyze and discuss. Then they were sent back to the senior policymakers, and on the next IAG meeting we've been informed about the progress, about the changes in the policy and about our input. But what is more important is now we can refer to those documents in the future, and this is how we shape the real policies. It works well because it's quite personal. We've got a superintendent or a commissioner coming and discuss with us real situations and policies. And what is the most important, the dialogue is in both ways. So we are fed back on the regular basis, and that also keeps us as a group engaged. I believe this method, where there is a drive to be so diverse, prevent the group to fall into groupthink. We are from different backgrounds. Between us, we represent a unique perspective on the same situations. It's very rarely that we agree each other, seeing the same footage, for example, of the case study. That gives diversity, that prevents us from following one person in a group. And in that way, we also make sure that we think about all citizens, especially the ones who are in minority and who don't have a voice.